R. Kelly was saying that Jay-Z funded his downfall plus the documentary.
And we do have some breaking news that we want to bring to you. It was being reported by TMZ and now Fox News. We are learning that Jay-Z is accused of raping a 13-year-old girl. That is new in the Diddy.
R. Kelly just detonated the industry's worst-kept secret. He claims he handed the FBI files that could end Jay-Z and Diddy for good. Everyone thought his story was finished, buried under sentences and headlines, but the silence cracked open again this week. Lawyers confirmed a sudden motion demanding release after a credible threat on his life. Insiders whisper that the leak began inside a North Carolina cell block, and guards are scrambling to explain why Kelly collapsed days after the paperwork hit federal desks. The filings mention an overdose, a canceled surgery, and a rapid transfer to solitary. Government attorneys dismiss it as fantasy, even as Diddy's legal team goes quiet and Jay-Z's name begins reappearing in sealed correspondence. None of it lines up, not the timing, not the denial, not the speed of containment. Something bigger is moving underneath, and the next leak won't stop at careers.
Robert.
30 years of my career! Y'all trying to kill me!
Federal documents start moving at the same time hospital call logs vanish. It's the last week of January, and a North Carolina prison suddenly goes into a quiet lockdown. Staff claim it's a routine security review, but an internal memo, dated 3 days after R. Kelly's emergency motion, references outside interference and media-sensitive exposure. Insiders say that phrase usually means one thing: the press is close to a leak. Inmates describe doors slamming early, mail being held back, and guards walking the tier with phones switched off. One employee confides that a laptop in the administrative wing was seized by federal investigators within hours of the hospital transfer. Official statements mention no irregularities, but the timing looks too polished, too ready. Someone expected this story, and that's the first red flag: how fast a federal agency can coordinate silence when the target is already behind bars.
As far as, is he going to turn people in? Is he going to cooperate? If the federal government wants him to cooperate, and they're going to cut his time, because right now he's looking at 15 to life. With all the charges he had to, he won't get out till 70 years old. He about 70, that's when they start talking about letting him come to a halfway house.
The next day, a second motion appears online, then disappears from the court server within minutes. Copies circulate among journalists anyway. It's signed by Kelly's lawyer and references confidential cooperation with ongoing federal matters. No one explains what those matters are. By nightfall, industry texts are flying. Something about tapes. Something about offshore accounts. Something connecting names that shouldn't share a page. The FBI refuses to confirm any deal, but the wording, confidential cooperation, isn't standard prisoner language. It reads like protection. 2 days later, a new claim surfaces through a Chicago contact. Diddy's team allegedly requested a sealed hearing the same week the Kelly filing went public. What was supposed to be coincidence now feels like choreography.
You're a halfway intelligent person. When do you start questioning how lucky some keep getting?
Right.
At this point, Jay-Z's name isn't in any official paper, but it floats everywhere else. Old producers start talking again about the best of both worlds fallout. The 2004 pepper spray incident at Madison Square Garden becomes more than tour gossip. It's cited in Kelly's recent motion as proof of long-standing hostility. The document describes physical intimidation by associates of a well-known artist. Insiders close to Jay-Z shrug it off as paranoia, but even they admit the memory of that night has never settled. 2 men from the crew were later banned from the venue for undisclosed reasons. No one explains why that matters now, until someone leaks that one of those men is under quiet federal review linked to Diddy's past events. The overlap is too tight to ignore. Every name loops back to the same small circle that has ruled the industry for 2 decades.
I'm saying, Sean Carter, you're a piece of shit. Taking Pimp C wasn't bad enough. You just want to go down there and you want to just remove all of the balls from every real gangster in Houston?
Then comes the collapse. R. Kelly's medical episode hits on a Friday morning. Hospitalization, unexplained fainting, blood clots, and missing medication records. Within hours, his attorney releases a statement claiming he was overexposed to substances administered without consent. That phrase spreads faster than any denial the Bureau issues. Former guards talk about a sealed wing, a sudden change in meal rotation, and a doctor flown in from Atlanta for a non-standard review. Government spokespeople dismiss everything as fantasy. Yet their own timeline confirms a security sweep just hours before the collapse. Here's where it stops making sense. If nothing happened, why secure an entire unit, remove staff, and block press access to medical records? The optics are disastrous. The silence, worse.
Some people think that you like underage girls. What do you say to them?
Well, those people that don't know Robert, they don't know me, so I usually don't get into what people think about me, because all my career, even before the trial, people have had their opinions about Robert, and that's probably because it has a lot to do with me.
Inside the industry, the reaction splits between panic and disbelief. Diddy's conviction last year already shattered the illusion of immunity. Jay-Z's brand depends on distance, no scandals, no noise. Yet suddenly, his people go offline. Rock Nation deletes 2 old posts featuring R. Kelly within 24 hours of the leak. Publicly, it's dismissed as routine content housekeeping. Privately, insiders say it's fear of contamination. One longtime associate claims there's a lot of old footage out there. If Kelly is really talking, nothing stays buried. It sounds dramatic, until you remember Diddy's downfall began the same way: whispers, then footage, then federal movement. The parallels make everyone nervous, especially those still pretending they never crossed paths.
They don't want, if they was in any of those freak-off tapes, if they played a part in any of those Diddy sessions, they don't want it to get out to the general public to make up their brand. That's why a lot of those...
The FBI's public denials land too cleanly. A spokesperson calls the allegations fanciful conspiracy within hours of Kelly's lawyer filing. The language is specific, cold, rehearsed, and it arrives before any real investigation could have been completed. Sources inside the Bureau say a standard review would take days, not hours. The speed feels like damage control, not procedure. One former agent describes it as the language of preemption, how departments speak when they're protecting something delicate. Even stranger, the medical facility that treated Kelly logged him under a pseudonym. The detail surfaces through a clerical error on a transportation form later leaked to reporters. Using a false identity for a federal inmate isn't protocol. It's containment.
How do you know I'm not a gangster, or used to be a gangster? I've been in the music industry for 30 years.
Yeah, the industry's filled with gangsters.
As this unfolds, small inconsistencies begin stacking up. Diddy's sentencing hearing in New York is quietly rescheduled the same week as Kelly's hospitalization. Court officials cite a calendar conflict, but 3 insiders say federal prosecutors requested the delay to avoid overlapping media coverage. That's not coincidence, it's choreography. Meanwhile, Jay-Z's camp leaks photos of a charity appearance with a smiling mayor, the perfect image of detachment. But journalists notice his security detail doubled, and a press handler banning all off-topic questions. No one asks why a man untouched by charges needs that level of protection. The contrast between calm on the surface and panic backstage tells its own story.
If that's part of the indictment, that's somewhat like a blackmail. He was blackmailing people to be in the freak-offs. So that's federal. That could be that's a federal charge. He can't blackmail people to say, yo, listen here, you did it once and you're gonna do it again. That ain't gonna make it with the government or nobody.
By early February, R. Kelly is back in isolation, claiming officials are using other inmates to intimidate him. Court filings mention white nationalist intermediaries and improper medical dosing. On paper, it sounds absurd, until a local North Carolina outlet reports that a known prison gang leader was transferred into Kelly's unit that same week. The connection proves nothing, but it electrifies the rumor mill. A source close to Kelly's attorney says federal marshals were warned 3 days before the transfer and ignored it. Prison spokespeople deny any such warning was recorded. The problem? A time-stamped email from the attorney's office is circulating among reporters, showing otherwise. That's when this stops sounding like paranoia and starts looking like containment through chaos.
So what happens now is this is simply a civil complaint. And in a civil complaint, it goes through the technical legal process. Now, the distinction, Jessica, between civil and criminal, of course, is that civil is for monetary damages, right? The system can only reward you with money. There's allegations that this 13-year-old is suffering from post-traumatic stress disorder, suffered depression, etc. So now you go to fact-finding.
The emotional current running through this story is survival, not justice. People who once mocked R. Kelly's downfall now whisper that he may be holding evidence too dangerous to suppress cleanly. His language in recent filings, compromising recordings, private gatherings, commercial transactions for silence, reads like a coded threat. The order of those phrases mirrors sections from Diddy's indictment. Lawyers who've seen both documents say the overlap isn't coincidence. It's the same architecture, the same pattern of control and cover-up stretching back years. When insiders mention private gatherings, they're referring to the same circles where careers were made overnight and ruined the same way. R. Kelly was there from the start. If he's truly decided to talk, he's not exposing a scandal. He's dismantling a system.
Attorneys for disgraced Chicago musician R. Kelly have filed a petition to the U.S. Supreme Court to review his conviction for federal.
Public reaction swings violently between pity and disgust. Comment threads on major outlets are split. Half call him delusional. Half say he's the only one brave enough to speak now that his power is gone. But the real movement happens off camera. Attorneys representing former associates of both moguls begin requesting sealed meetings. One of Diddy's former assistants deletes her account after posting a cryptic message, "Everything connects eventually." Fans dissect the wording like scripture. By the next morning, the post is gone. For an industry that feeds on control, that kind of digital purge signals fear. And fear usually means the truth is getting too close for comfort.
Now you one of Jay-Z's day ones, like one of the original Circle crew members, brothers.
30 years.
30 years. How'd y'all first connect?
Streets, man. It was a connection through a mutual friend.
The timeline grows more suspicious when you align it. January 23rd, R. Kelly's motion is filed. January 25th, Diddy's legal team requests a procedural delay. January 26th, Jay-Z's company quietly scrubs old collaborations. January 27th, R. Kelly collapses. 4 consecutive days of reactive moves disguised as coincidence. Analysts call it pattern recognition. Insiders call it cleanup. One producer who worked with all 3 men says the timing feels too synchronized to be chance. He's not talking about friendship, he's talking about containment. A shared interest in keeping a vault sealed. That vault, he claims, holds recordings of private exchanges involving people who now run billion-dollar brands.
Sweetest person you can know, very intelligent. She knew what she was about and she knew what she wanted to do with her life.
Every attempt to frame R. Kelly as delusional only amplifies curiosity. The more the Bureau denies, the louder the leaks become. A guard from his unit tells a regional paper that all surveillance footage from the day of the collapse was under technical review and unavailable to staff. Another source inside the same prison contradicts that claim, saying the cameras were working fine, but the footage was redirected to federal custody. Neither explanation fits protocol. Both imply someone else controls the evidence. And when control shifts away from an institution to unnamed federal custody, It means the case is no longer about one inmate. It's about what he knows.
I have no felonies. I'm not crazy or none of that. It's like, I just want the truth, and it's so hard to get it from the courts. And it seems like Jay-Z don't want to say anything. So, you know, I don't want to see him go down for something that, you could have just got taken care of. That's it.
People close to the entertainment world describe this as a containment war. Jay-Z protects empire through silence. Diddy protects it through loyalty. R. Kelly threatens both through confession. The stakes aren't moral, they're financial. If R. Kelly's alleged evidence surfaces, endorsement deals crumble, licensing agreements evaporate, and every major label involved faces liability. That's why executives who once shunned him now hire private investigators to decipher what he's really saying. One entertainment attorney puts it bluntly. If he's bluffing, they can ignore him. If he's not, they're all in danger. The danger isn't physical. It's reputational. Generational. By midweek, reporters notice a subtle shift in language from official sources. The Department of Justice stops using fanciful and switches to unsubstantiated. That's not denial, it's hedging. It leaves room for new findings without admitting prior error. Meanwhile, R. Kelly's health reports leak again, showing dosage charts altered after admission. Hospital spokespeople call it clerical correction. Lawyers call it tampering. For the first time, mainstream outlets use the phrase possible retaliation. What began as rumor now sits one step from recognized scandal. The contradictions stack too neatly to ignore. Diddy's legal silence contrasts sharply with his usual flamboyance. Jay-Z's carefully curated calm feels more like staging than confidence. Both built reputations on control, yet their reactions now feel choreographed by fear. And in the middle sits R. Kelly, isolated, weakened, yet oddly commanding the narrative. The inversion no one predicted, the predator turned whistleblower, the prisoner dictating headlines. Each new denial from the FBI, each deleted post, each quiet court adjustment tightens the sense that the truth isn't being buried. It's being delayed. The question isn't whether he's lying. It's why so many powerful men are acting like he's telling the truth. By the end of the first week of February, one thing becomes clear. This is no longer about a single inmate's claims. It's about the architecture of control that built and protected an entire generation of stars. The collapse of one name could pull the rest down. Federal agencies act as if the threat is external, but insiders say it's internal, a system eating itself. The documents. The hospital episode. The missing footage. The synchronized legal motions. All of it aligns too cleanly to dismiss. What was supposed to be noise now looks like pattern, and patterns don't disappear on their own. The closer you look at the old connections, the more the present makes sense. Early collaborations between Jay-Z and R. Kelly weren't just creative partnerships. They were mergers of power. When Diddy entered that circuit, the triangle locked. They shared producers, lawyers, even bodyguards. One retired guard claims the protection protocols used during those tours mirror those described in recent court filings. Money moved through shell companies. Staff were bound by iron-tight NDAs. It was never about music. It was about control. When the Aaliyah files were reopened, that system trembled. Her story is the unspoken hinge connecting them all, the origin point no one wants examined. Now the backlash shifts from rumor to retaliation. Publicists vanish. Legal teams restructure. Quiet settlements appear in financial records. One former executive calls the panic biblical, too many people with too much to lose. Whether the alleged footage exists almost doesn't matter. The fear is real enough to move millions. Jay-Z's camp floods headlines with charity. Diddy's retreats behind legal walls. And R. Kelly watches from isolation as the empire he helped build burns under its own weight. So now it's your turn. Is this the last act of a desperate man, or the first crack in an industry built on silence? Did the FBI move to protect the system or to bury it? How much of what we call genius was really blackmail dressed as brilliance? And if the next name drops, who walks away untouched? Leave your theories below. Every thread counts. This story isn't finished.